Here is a sample board of clay plaster. It's white clay, hemp aggregate, and instead of fibre I've got a hessian or jute scrim or mesh in there. It can be quite dusty, so you can see it's come off my fingers. It's solid, it's just a bit dusty. And so I'm going to use, oh look, you can see a little crack there, we'll try and get that out as well. This is a cellulose sponge, or a decorator's sponge. It's very cheap, it's made of cellulose, hence cellulose sponge. You can get it from sort of DIY shops and decorator places. And this is what I do quite a lot with my plasters as a final stage. So I'm just wetting the sponge in clean water. And then you can see it's coming off. So what it's going to do is bring the clay to the surface, or basically burnish any clay that's on the surface. It's going to bring out the aggregate so you can see the hemp better, which looks very nice. And the thing to do is work quite methodically around the wall in small sections, and as you go, blend back slightly into the bit you've done first to keep it all even. Don't sort of do this across the wall, because you'll just end up with loads of big lines. It's a bit like washing the car, I suppose. Not that I clean my car very often. I'll just do this half. Sorry, my camera conveniently ran out of batteries. Anyway, I fixed a little scratch up there. It's completely disappeared with the same method. Although this is still wet, already there's nothing coming off, whereas the bit I haven't done, which is this bit, is like that. So I'll let that dry completely, and then I'll show you what it's like. It's almost dry, it's still a little bit patchy, where it's a little bit wet, but I'm going to show you anyway. So the bit that I had done, nothing coming off, and the bit that I hadn't done, still all coming off. And it's also a bit smoother because the sort of sponge burnishing, I suppose you could call it, fills in all the little gaps, takes out any cracks. The patch here, there was a crack across there, big scrape, and that, that's come out completely. It's only still a little bit dark there because it's not quite dry. And if that was a sand plaster, it would bring out all the nice flecks of sand, and a sand clay plaster, so it works just as well. I've done it on loads of different clay plasters really, and it always, unless you want it a really rough finish or textured finish, this always sort of helps. So there it is, cellulose sponge, bit of water, and you can make your clay plasters way less dusty.